Hello, tonight's flip video is dividing by two-digit divisors. Some of you in your math autobiographical paper at the beginning of the year said that this scared you, that you did not get it. This is the video for you, all right? This means that you are going to be dividing by two numbers instead of one, and we'll talk about that in a minute. First of all, let's review. The divisor is the number, in this case two numbers, that are doing the dividing. The dividend is the numbers being divided, and the quotient is your answer or your result in a division problem. The procedure for dividing by two-digit numbers is a lot like dividing by one digit. There's an extra step. It's usually at the very beginning, but it's a lot like it. You'll find out. All right, for example, let's say that you have this problem here and you think, uh-oh, I've got two numbers here. I can't do this. I don't even know how to start. That's what I always hear students say. I don't even know how to get started. Okay, an easy way to get started is to make this big division problem into a smaller division problem. For example, we might look at this 22 and we can take the 2 here, the one in the tens place. And we can look at this big problem here, and we can just take this 4, the one in the hundreds place. And we can say, all right, 4 divided by 2. There's a smaller division problem. What is 4 divided by 2? 2. Okay, let's put that idea over here. All right, we're going to put a 2 up here. Now, we do just like we did with the Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers. We just divided, so now we're going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Next, subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. Compare. Can I divide 2 by 22? No, I should never be able to do that. So we now do the burgers, or bring down. So I bring down my 8, and I start over. I don't probably have to make a smaller division problem because 22 and 28 are close enough together. We could probably figure that 22 could be divided into 28 one time. So we'll put a 1 here. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract. 8 minus 2, I'm running out of room. 8 minus 2 is 6. 2 minus 2 is 0. Is there anything else to bring down? No. This will become our remainder. All right. So we always start, when you're in two-digit division like this, making it, it's a good way to start, to make a big division problem into a smaller one. You will follow the same Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers. What if you don't know how to start over? Well, you can, you start back at the beginning like we did. You can start again by making it the big division problem into a little one. We didn't have to do this here because the 22 and the 28 were close enough together that we kind of knew 22 would go into 28 once. All right. Now, sometimes if the number is closer to another, like a tens number, you can round a number before you make a smaller division problem. Here's an example. 643 divided by 18. A lot of times students say, I can't think of that. Well, 18 is close enough to 20. We could round it to 20. And then we could say, okay, here's the 2 and 20. Here is the 6 and 643. We could do it this way. 6 divided by 2. What's that? 3. Same thing here. We would put it here. Now, the thing is, when we multiply, we would multiply it by 18 because that's really our number. We only rounded it to 20 so we could get started. So we would say, for example, 3 times 8 is 24, and 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, and we end up with 10 there, and so forth. Sometimes when you're dividing by two-digit numbers, you don't have to make a big division problem into a smaller problem. You can see it. It's easy enough. For example, I would look here at 17 and I would say, oh, 16 could go into 17 just once. I can figure that out. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Subtract 1. 1 cannot be divided by 16. We'll bring down our 6 and start over. Still don't have to make a big division problem into a smaller problem. 16 can be divided by 16 once. 1 times 16 is 16. Subtract 0. So sometimes you don't have to go through those beginning things and make this big problem into a small problem. It's easy enough to see. Now, one thing that comes up as students get very concerned about this, when you are dividing large numbers, like in two-digit division, at times you might get some really large remainders. That always scares students, and they think, oh no, I've done something wrong. Well, this isn't necessarily wrong. A remainder can be a large number, but the thing is, it must not be larger than the divisor. If you end up with a number that is bigger than what you're dividing by, something along the way in a previous step was not done correctly. I'll give you an example. Let's say we're dividing 810 by 75. All right, 75 can be divided into 81 once. They're close enough together. We don't really have to do any kind of estimation or something. 1 times 75 is 75. Subtract, and we get 6. 6 cannot be divided by 75, so we're going to bring down our 0. Okay. Can 60 be divided by 75? No, it can't. We tried to do it. It wouldn't work. So we put a 0 here to show that we tried to divide it, but it was not able to be divided. Now, are we done? No. We have this left over. We have to show that this is what is left over. So this will be our remainder. Now, you may look at that and think, oh, no, there's no way that can be 60 left over. Well, is 60 bigger or smaller than 75? It's smaller. So as long as it isn't bigger than the divisor, it's possible to have a really big remainder. All right? So don't let that scare you. All right, let's do one last example. All right, we're going to look at this and we could say, all right, this is close enough to 30. I'm going to estimate it at 30. And I'm going to make this 18. So make it into a smaller division problem. I can say 18 can be divided by 3 6 times. So we put our 6. And I'm going to, let's see, can't do 18 by 32. We'll have to divide 180 by 32. All right, so I'm going to put a 6 here because I said 6. And I'm going to multiply now. Remember, does McDonald's, I'm multiplying now. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Okay, let's subtract. Wait, I can't take 192 away from 180. And you're probably thinking, oh no, what do you do? Well, when we made our smaller division problem, it worked out fine. But this is not really 30. It's 32. It's a little bit bigger. So 6 may be too big of a number to put here. Maybe we should drop it back to 5. Now, you may be saying, but I hate to do that. I don't want to make a mistake. You know, that's what erasers are for on the end of pencils. Making a mistake, you can fix it. You can always fix it. Let's make that a 5. And let's erase what we've got here. And we'll start it over. Start the process over. All right, let's see if this works. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, there's my 1. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Oh, that looks better already. I can actually subtract this. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 6 is 2. All right, could 20 be divided by 32? No. Is there anything else to bring down? No. What do we do with it? It becomes our remainder. So up here we'll put a remainder of 20. Again, if you overestimate, that's okay. It really is, because you can fix that and you can start over. But some students, if they get it wrong, they just keep clinging to that being wrong and they keep trying to make it work. If it's wrong, it doesn't work. So don't be afraid to erase it and start over again, because there's no big deal doing that. It's the good student that does that and takes the time to fix it. Don't forget to follow divide, multiply, subtract, compare, can it be divided, and then bring down. All right. Practice problems, number 3 on your homework guide. Please show all work. I want to see what you put up here for your quotient. I want to see your work where you regrouped, where you subtracted, all of that. I want to see it all the way down. All right, you only have 2 problems tonight because of this, because I know these are a little bit challenging and they take some time to write it out. So there's 2 problems. If you have questions, please write that down on number 4. We'll talk about it tomorrow in class, okay? Thanks. Have a good evening.